Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Daughters of Kerala. Today I have with me Ms. Devinandana, a sociology graduate from Delhi University. So, Ms. Nandana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So, shall we start?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, could you give me an overview of how the Nairs, the matrilineal society, emerged in Kerala and how they worked overall together?
So tracing back to the history of Nairs weren't then a caste. They were just a community. So the Nairs, we can say, started emerging as a caste, or they started getting more importance when the king faced some problems in maintaining his kingdom and everything. Like it was the end of Chera kingdom or something, and then the king who had power were facing problems in managing the kingdom. So he started dividing the rights into two main groups, that is to the Nairs and to the Nambudiris. So now the Nairs and Nambudiris became equally important. And how will they pay back to the king? The Nambudiris paid back to the king by helping them in ritual practices, pujas and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Nairs went to wars and everything, and they they were basically the soldiers.
Yes.
So this is the history of the Nairs, we can say,
Yes.
like how they emerged as a caste and they started getting more importance.
Yes.
Now going into the matrilineal of the Nair system, we can say it is because of this behavior or the Nairs as a soldiers in the war.
Yes.
Like the Nair soldiers were mostly known for their do or die attitude.
Yes.
Like either they will kill their enemies or they will die.
Yes.
They won't come back being defeated.
It's a stain on honor. So
Yeah.
either you have honor or you're not a.
Either die.
You die. You die.
Yeah. So due to this, there wasn't any surety that the Nair men who went to war will come back. So to avoid let them escape from the familial responsibilities and everything, because there were any surety that he will come back.
Yes.
The women of the family started getting more importance. So we can say that's when matrilineal started emerging.
Okay.
But at the same time, we can say the Nair community isn't a matriarchal society, but is a matrilineal.
Matrilineal.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Matriarchy is where like women are dominant. Like women will have the more power, women will take decisions and everything.
Especially in the, like they will be the queens. Like
Yeah.
no king.
Yeah.
Okay.
But matrilineal is based on the lineage.
The
That is
heritage.
lineage. That is
Yes, lineage.
Yeah. The family will be traced on the maternal side, from the maternal side.
Okay.
Like if we are siblings and the sister and her children will be given more importance in the family.
Yes.
Or the Taravada. And Taravada is the extended familial unit where there will be many families of the same caste. Like the main family will be living together.
Yes.
And the eldest male member of the Taravada will be known as Karanavar.
Karanavar.
Yeah, he will be taking the major decisions. That is why we can say that it's not a matriarchy, because the decisions and the power still rest with the man of the family, or the Karanavar.
Oh.
Like there will be an eldest female member who is known as Karanavati, but the male member still has the power. We can't say that it's matriarchy.
Yes. So does the male decide who the women in the family marry?
Yep.
Okay.
But only for the ritual husband. It's about choosing the ritual husband.
Yes.
And regarding the marriage, we can say like they were sambandham and also ritual marriage, like to show the society. So there were two kinds.
Yes.
So going into depth, a Nair girl before puberty, she will be having a tali getta ceremony.
Which is
A yellow thread will be tied around her neck by a man who is chosen by her family, by the girl's family of the same caste or something. And that is known as a taliketa ceremony, and it will be before the puberty of the girl, and that person will be the ritual husband.
Okay.
Or the social husband. Among the society, he is the husband of that woman.
As the husband.
Yep. But it's just a socially constructed image of a husband.
Yes.
He there is not a concept of family, or he has to stay with the woman every day, or like build a household or everything.
Okay.
After just 3 days after of their relationship, like after the Staliketa ceremony, a ritual bath and everything will be done, and the relationship there ends. There is the Taliketa ceremony and its continuing process ends there.
Okay.
And if the husband, that ritual husband wants, he can visit her, but it's not a, there is not a concept of family then. Like it's not a rule that they have to stay together or start a family or raise their children and everything. And after the Staliketa ceremony, that is, it was before puberty of the girl.
Yes.
And after puberty, the girl or the woman is allowed to keep the sambandham. Sambandham is a relationship, is a kind of relationship where the Nair woman was allowed to keep a relationship, mostly sexual relationship, with up to 12 men of different castes, and to note that not from the members of the lower caste, and it was strictly prohibited.
Because of the honors of the Nairs.
Because of the honor of the Nairs.
Yes.
Of the caste system and everything.
Yes.
She can keep a relationship with the men from any caste, but not the lower caste.
No lower caste.
Yeah, and if it's from the higher caste, like of the Nambudiris, Brahmins and everything, like it will be a more pride or joy to the family.
Families.
Because if a member if it's a member from the higher caste like Nambudiris or Brahmins, and if such a person claims for her pregnancy, like this is my child, and so the child will be getting the rights, or he will thus become a member of the Nambudiri family. Like there will be a rise of status.
Yes.
Like the child was from a Nair woman, but now he will also be a member of the Nambudiri clan.
Because due to the higher caste.
Yeah. And because the man was from the Nair Nambudiri family, and he claimed that this is my child.
Yes.
So the family was most proud when such a thing happened, that if a man from the Nambudiri caste or the woman had a relationship with men from the higher caste, but not with the lower caste.
Yes. Okay. So moving on. So how did the inheritance system work? I'm not sure. So who inherited what? And I wanted to go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Like before talking about the inheritance, let's talk a little more about the fatherhood.
Okay.
And the rest of the things of Sambandham.
Yes.
Like as I said earlier, she had a right to keep relationship with 12 men, mostly from the higher caste or her same caste, and not from the lower caste.
Yes.
So the thing was, like the men from the like one of such men visited her at night. They used to keep their sword outside her room.
Yes.
To show that today I have the right, I am here with her, and no one is allowed to come inside.
Yes.
So that's how it went. And when that Nair woman became pregnant, it was a rule that one man from those who she had sambandham with should come forward and claim that pregnancy, that this is my child. And if such a case doesn't happen, that none of them come forward and say that this is my child and everything, like it will be assumed, the family will be assumed that the child is of a man from a lower caste. And if such a thing happens again, that woman and the child will be either killed or will be
kicked out.
And during the pregnancy, and if a man from whom she had sambandham with claims for the pregnancy, that person should gift that woman something like the cloth or expensive things.
Yes.
And also he can carry on the expenses of the birth of the child.
Okay.
Till the baby is born. Only till the baby is born.
Then he has no role in...
No. After that, after the baby is born, that man has no role. Remember, that man is just the person who she had relationship with, sambandham, not the ritual husband.
Not the ritual husband.
Yeah. So that's the case, that the man who claimed to be the father of the child doesn't have any rights after the child is born.
Yes.
And if he claims the for the pregnancy that this is my child, he only have the right, or he should gift the woman something and also take care the birth expenses of the child.
Yes.
And after that, this child and the woman will be in the care of the Karanavar. That is the brother, the eldest male member of the family. And this Karanavar will be doing the role of father.
The elder brother.
Yeah, elder brother. Mostly it is the elder brother who is the Karanavar of the family, or the eldest male member of the Taravada.
They are the father figure in the life of the child.
Yeah. And it's them who take important decisions on their life, who decide everything, who raise them. Yeah. And not even the ritual husband or the person who claimed the pregnancy, when she had the relationship during Sambandham, has any rights. It's that Karanavar who maintains and does anything. And because of this, the inheritance and the property and everything, it's traced through the female line. Because there isn't any role of a fatherhood there, and it's just the woman and her Taravada. Because the Karanavar is also the male member of her own Taravada. And there isn't any other man who can claim anything. So the property is mostly traced through the woman or the sister and her children. And yeah, this is also because the property and everything was traced through the lineage of the women, because as we discussed earlier, there wasn't any surety that the men who went to wars will come back. So, and to ensure that this property stays, the property of the family stays within the family itself, it went through the lineage of the women, or to her children and everything.
Yeah. So suppose I have a question. It's kind of interesting. So suppose this woman in the house is not able to have kids, especially female kids. So who will inherit the property? Who will inherit the assets to this family? All the Taravadu, the everything in the family, the money, the house. So who will inherit this?
I don't have a proper answer for this, because I have heard this case among the royal families that they will adopt. Mostly, I have read about the Travancore royal family that they adopted, and the power, property, and everything went through that girl child. But I haven't read any such cases within the Nair family, and we can say that time people had 8 to 10 to 12 to children. So there will be more female members in the family, and that Karanavar will be having more sisters, and that sisters will be having more children. So if one particular sister doesn't have a child, and there is not even a question of how will the property or lineage trace.
So it's not like really so it's pretty unlikely that there will be no females eligible to inherit the properties of the...
Yeah, we can assume that.
But
it's not a proper thing to... We cannot give a surety about it. But like when discussed about those time and everything, like this is the most case to happen. It will be traced through the other sister. Mostly it's given to the elder sister and her children and everything. And if such a case happens that there is no such a sister, or that sister doesn't have a female child or anything, it will be most probably the rights and everything will be given to the next sister.
Yeah, I had read about the cases in Travancore where usually the royal family adopts another girl to inherit this property. So I was also curious in the case of Nair society, which is why I asked this. So I was not really sure how they would cope with no females in the household.
And one more thing that we can't say that this will be the particular case or situation of all the Nairs of Kerala, because the situation used to differ according to the regions. Those which was practiced in the central Kerala of the Nairs who lived in central Kerala won't be the same with those in the southern Kerala. Like I read it somewhere, like we said that the Nayars weren't matriarchal but matrilineal.
Yes.
And even though it was matrilineal, the women didn't have that much power because the decisions mostly, the power, yes, we can say that the power rested with the women. Women had the power, but the male members had a more dominant power, like the Karanava. And I read it somewhere that it was not the case with the Nair families of the southern Kerala, because there was matrilineal and not matriarchy, but matrilineal.
Yes.
But when compared to the Nair families of central Kerala, the women from the southern Kerala of the Nair families had more power than the women of the central Kerala, the Nair women of the central Kerala.
Okay.
So we can't particularly say that this is the overall case. It may differ according to the regions.
So, don't you think that in this kind of system, where men are usually going out for wars and to defend the honor of the society, and are like barely given the chance at fatherhood,
Yeah.
don't you think that's a little sad? And like, don't you think that kind of hindered them in any kind of way?
Yeah, it did. There was an anthropologist and a sociologist. I guess she was. She surely was an anthropologist, Kathleen Go. She did a paper on the Nayars and the definition of marriage of Kerala. So, on her paper, she discussed about this Sambandham ceremony and everything, and there was a debate about the concept of fatherhood among the Nayars. Because when we look into the other marriages of India, it's mostly, we can say, patriarchal. And yes, the women are given importance, but it was mostly a marriage was a relationship or a union between a man and a woman, and the children born from that marriage were legitimized to that marriage and everything.
Yes.
So there was a proper concept of family and marriage and fatherhood. But when coming to the Nayars, there wasn't a proper concept of fatherhood, we can say, because the child born actually had two fathers.
Yes.
One is the ritual husband she had.
Yes, the ritual husband and the Karnava.
Not Karanava, the genitor husband.
Oh, the genitor husband.
The man who had a sambandham with the woman and who claimed the pregnancy.
Yes.
That this is my child, even though there can be chance that it's not his, but the man who came forward and claimed that this is my child is the second one.
Yes.
One is the ritual father, and this is the second person who claimed is the other one.
Yes.
So the ritual husband, he didn't have any rights actually. Like there wasn't any rules that he should maintain a proper household and everything. If he wanted, he could come and visit the child and everything.
Yes.
But even the man who claimed the pregnancy, like of the Sambandham relationship, even though he wanted, he couldn't take any decisions on the child's life. We said that during the pregnancy, if he claims that pregnancy, he should give the woman the gifts and take care of the expense of the birth of the child. But after the birth of the child, this man didn't have any rights because it was the Karanava.
Yes.
So it's a pathetic case, as we can't say there would have been men who wanted to come forward to experience that fatherhood or take important decisions in his child's life and everything. But this matrilineal and the Marimakatayam, that is the eldest brother of the family or the Karanava having power.
Yes.
And the family property and everything being traced to the matrilineal, like mother's lineage, hindered it.
How do you think so? Like, in what way?
The father, we can say, the father who claimed the pregnancy of the Sambandham relationship, we can say that every man was wanted to take the responsibility or see his child and everything. Of course, he will be having other Sambandham relationship with many other women. But if they were men such that even if they wanted to take the responsibility, they couldn't, because it was the Karanava who did everything, and women had more rights. And if women didn't wanted that person to take the rights, she could cancel it anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was such a pathetic case. They was like, even if they wanted, they couldn't take the responsibility, see the growth of his child, or take important decisions in his life.
Like ethically, it's not a good system. Would you say that?
No, we can't, because
I mean, like taking away the ability to be a
Yeah.
father to your own child is
Yeah.
kind of pathetic. And
yeah, it is in a way,
Yes.
but all men are not the same. We can say that.
Yes,
They're
all men are not
the same. There are cases where if
They don't
those
want the
they
child.
don't because there is not a case of surety, because he will be having many sambandham with many women.
Yes.
So he won't be that much interested in taking the or
Yes.
raising the child or taking interest in them. And if there wasn't such a rule that the man should take responsibilities
Yes.
or take care of the child, what if the man didn't wanted
Yes.
to?
The
And
man just went with it.
and
They went with the flow.
and it will lead to the, like, it will destroy the child's life actually.
Yes.
So in a way, like, this rule and everything is nice in a way,
Yes.
because it's just protect the child and his mother.
Yes.
Even though there isn't a proper notion of
Yes.
fatherhood, but there is a person who is the Karanava, who is there in a father's role, who takes decisions
Yes.
and everything. But as we said, if all men are not the same, and if a man wanted to take responsibilities of his child, even if he couldn't.
Yeah.
So that's a pathetic case.
Yeah. So another question I had. So, what if multiple men tried to claim for one child? So, were there any kind of conflicts? Were there any known or recorded conflicts about men fighting over a child or the father of? Yeah. So basically,
In my knowledge, no.
no.
Because it's not a one relationship. As I said, both the
Multiple
Nair man and the Nair woman and the other man will be having a lot of sambandham relationship, and the child or a person should come forward of the mostly of a higher caste or the same caste of the woman.
Yes.
Should come forward and claim the pregnancy is of a matter of seriousness only to the family of the women, because as we discussed earlier, if a man from a higher caste claims the pregnancy, then the child becomes a member of the higher caste.
Yes.
Then it's a matter of pride to the Nair family
Yes.
only. And if none of those men comes forward and like claim the pregnancy, the women or the child's life is at stake. Like they will be kicked off or they will be killed.
Yes.
So it's a matter of seriousness only to the women. Like men are not, men shouldn't be.
Men
Like
shouldn't be that concerned as compared to the women, because the child's well-being and their well-being is at concern when it comes to the fatherhood.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for being here. It was a great pleasure talking with you.
Oh yeah, I had a great time. Thank you.
See you guys.